Do you ever get the feeling that something is just not quite right? I'm Bill Snodgrass, and in this Live Better video, that's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about that feeling that you get sometimes when you're in a situation and you go, something's not right about this. Some people call it an instinct, but that's misusing a word from psychology that has a very specific meaning. It's not really instinctual at that level. Intuition or having a hunch or just got that feeling. Those are better ways of thinking about it. And it could be that you're in the middle of a conversation and what you're hearing just doesn't quite sound right. Or you look at something and you see something and you go, man, there's something wrong with this. There's something isn't quite right. Or you're driving down the road, and this literally driving down the road, not just the metaphor, but that's the metaphor we're gonna go with. You're driving down the road and there's something going on in the environment, and suddenly you go, whoa, something unusual is happening. Maybe out of the corner of your eye, you see a car slowing down, and you notice there's a bunch of little things that happen, and suddenly your brain starts signaling. Let's talk about that at a psychological level for a second. Very quickly, what happens is our brain is on auto all the time, processing all of the stimuli in our environment, the sounds, the sights, the smells, all the things, the tactile sensations that we're aware of. Everything is being processed simultaneously. And there is this nice, most of the time, stasis in the brain that's, everything's all right. Everything's, got a lot going on here, always. But sometimes the processing process begins to encounter stimuli that doesn't quite line up. And the brain does this thing where it begins to try to figure out what's going on. Now, in some context, that brain mess up is called cognitive dissonance. And you begin to have some dissonance in the brain where all of the inputs don't make a nice, pleasant chord. Dissonance in audiology, in sound, in music, dissonance is when the chords don't quite line up. And so we end up having this cognitive not quite lined up. And that is the way we are created in order to be more effective at dealing with our environment. When things don't quite line up, what should we do? We should take that seriously. If you're listening to a conversation and you're going, wait a minute, you might need to stop and you might need to backtrack. Maybe you need to fact check something someone said. Maybe you need to read under the actual words. So the metaphor of driving down the road, this is the solution of what do you do when something happens and you go, wait a minute, that doesn't quite line up. So you're driving down the road, metaphorically speaking, you're driving down the road and suddenly all the little signals start going off in your head that something is about to change, something isn't quite right. Well, you don't want to slam on the brakes because whatever's behind you might crash into you. You don't want to slam on the gas because you don't know what's over the top of the hill. It's kind of like driving on ice. You want to remove as many of the forces at play on the vehicle as possible. Your vehicle being your progress through the situation. Kind of coast for a moment and appraise what's going on around you. Figure out where those signals are coming from and then react appropriately. And in the metaphor of driving, you may need to steer off to the shoulder of the road. You may need to slowly come to a stop. You may need to slam on your brakes and hope the guy behind you slams on his brakes too. But you need to make the appropriate decision based on why does that not quite feel right? Sometimes we see things that don't quite line up, and we need to be aware of those things in our life. We need to respond to those things and make the best appropriate decision. That's how you live a little bit better. I'm Bill Snodgrass. Thank you for watching. Please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, sign up for notifications, leave me a comment, question, suggestion for another video or topic. That is all for this one. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.